Okay, now let's do our portrait. I'm going to right click and duplicate this layer and call it Portrait Background 1. I'm going to unlock my background long enough for me to rename it Original, just in case I need to redo things, and I'm going to lock it back up again and turn it off. Going to my portrait background, I'm going to select my clone stamp tool and decide what to copy. Let's start with this fish right here. I'm going to alt-click on the fish and then come over here and paint him in again. I'm actually looking at the plus symbol on the right-hand side and just keeping it on the fish so I don't end up clone stamping a lot of stuff that I don't really need. And then glancing over on the other side to make sure that the whole fish has appeared. There he is. So now I need to make my selections. I'm going to draw a selection box around this fish and then shift and cursor right over to where that fish appeared. Right about there. Now I'm going to hold down shift and select my fish again. Layer, new, via, copy. This is my change 1. I'm going to move that underneath, go back to my portrait background, and choose something else. How about making this fish disappear? I'm going to alt-click over here where the water, well, let me zoom in some first, Control plus. I'm going to alt-click right here and then clone stamp first, alt-click, and then begin painting this fish out. See how I went too far and he started to show up again? That's because he was right here. I'm going to undo and start again. I'm going to paint a little bit and then I'm going to let go and finish painting the rest. With natural backgrounds like that, he pretty much disappears without a trace. So let's make our selections. First, go to where the fish is. Shift and cursor over to select the part where he isn't, and then shift and select the fish again. Now I have two rectangles, layer, new, via, copy. This is my change 2. Let's see, one more thing to do. Let us see, what should I get rid of? I'd like to make or another copy of a fish. How about clone stamping this beautiful piece of coral right here and adding it right down here. So I'm going to see, oh, I'm down here on change 2, so I started doing something to this one. Make sure that you're on the portrait background, and let's see if I can make this piece of coral appear right here. So this would be a fairly difficult thing for folks to spot, I think. Looks fairly natural. A little bit of white mixed in there, but let's zoom in and see if we can't clean it up. Alt-click on the black spot and just paint down over it. And now we have a piece of coral where there wasn't one before. Making our selection around the piece of coral. Cut a little piece of that fish. I'm actually going to start there at the corner so I don't have the fish. And select, shift, and move over. It just moves a lot faster if you hold down shift, but you can be more precise if you don't hold down shift. And then I'm going to hold down my shift key and make my selection again. So layer, new, via, copy gives me change number 3. So if I turn off my background and turn on my changes, you can see the 3 things that I changed. And this original portrait background is going to be the base layer for our video. The order these are in, it helps if we go ahead and keep them organized just like this. Now, one of the things you want to make sure and do is to save this as a Photoshop file that's going to keep those layers. So I've actually saved it once. I'm going to save it again with my changes and replace the other one. So this is what you want. The landscape and the portrait, each with 3 changes to it.